There's something about getting up on the stage that makes me feel confident.
Ah. Welcome back to Fishing Without Bait. We're continuing our conversation with the Unwilting Tatiana, Jessie Notarius. I've met so many people, particularly young women, who often settle too much. They settle. They would tell me that, well, this person has potential. I have a lot to work with. So what I like to do, I like to build up self-concept and self-esteem, particularly with younger people, asking them, rather than create a profile, to create a profile about the requirements it takes to be with them. So what's some of the requirements it takes to be a friend of Jessie's?
To be a friend of mine, you have to appreciate humor. It can be any type of humor, but you have to appreciate it. You have to appreciate people's weird interests and be willing to give it a listen, even if it's not something you're necessarily into. You have to know when it's time to stop joking and be serious. And you have to be willing to go to baseball games. That's the most important one.
Baseball games?
Baseball games and D&D.
Okay. Well, as a long-suffering Pirates fan, myself, I follow you. Absolutely. So but I always ask people never to settle. Too many people do. So what we do is, do you think you deserve to be understood?
I do.
Do you think you deserve to be listened to?
I do.
Without advice, criticism, or suggestions. Do you think you deserve to be respected?
I do.
Do you think you deserve to be treated as an equal?
I do.
Do you think you deserve to be given the benefit of the doubt?
I do.
And the freedom to decide?
Yes.
So if somebody's not giving you those things, Jessie, what are they doing in your life?
Wasting time. It can be my time, it can be their time, but they're wasting time. And that doesn't always make them a bad person. It just makes for a very bad moment. And I appreciate productiveness. And I feel like if I'm not being listened to, especially, we're not being productive.
Well, of course. So you want people around you that have a positive influence in your life. What are you grateful for today, Jessie?
I'm grateful for dogs, coffee, my community, and, well, ice cream. Ice cream helps everything.
Ice cream helps everything. Absolutely. Okay. So when we develop this attitude of gratitude, there's a lot of efficacy behind that does what it's supposed to. And if we practice this attitude of gratitude every day, it changes the way we think. It changes our perception on things. And actually what it does, it manifests positivity, and it manifests high frequency people. High frequency people, those who don't spend most of their time complaining, comparing, and criticizing. Have you ever met people that if they weren't comparing, complaining, and criticizing, they would have little else to talk about?
Oh, yes.
How do you deal with that?
I try to engage with them and find the things they do like about life. I try to challenge them with my questions. Ask them, what did make you happy? What did you enjoy? Why do you enjoy it?
Okay. So when we challenge people, how often do you challenge yourself, Jessie?
Not as often as I probably should.
Okay. Say more about that. That's really interesting.
I feel like I'm very much a do as I say, not as I do kind of person. I try to encourage everyone to be caring and mindful to themselves, but I'm not as forgiving to myself. I can be very critical. I always feel like I could be doing better.
Do you deserve that?
I don't know.
Do you deserve to be having your life be like a movie reviewer who never saw a good movie?
Probably not.
Do you ever recognize the things that you do right?
I do.
Okay. I hope you do. Do you remember that tattoo that we talked about one time before? Do you Do you remember what it means?
It means don't regret a thing.
Abracadabra. Abracadabra. When you think of abracadabra, what comes to your mind, Jessie?
Mickey Mouse, of all things.
Mickey Mouse. Well, it's like magic, making something appear. And it comes from the Bible's Jesus time. It's Aramaic. It's roughly what it translates into. I speak what I create what I speak. The cool kids call it manifestation and vision boarding. It's been around since the first block was laid in the first pyramid. And that's reversing the curse. It's learning how to speak to yourself like you'd speak to a friend. How did you speak to yourself before you entered that first wrestling match that you had such short notice on?
I was kind to myself. I was encouraging. I told myself, you've been working towards this. You've gotten through one massive injury already to get here. What's the worst that could happen?
Okay. So most people walk through their life with fear-based anxiety. How did you deal with the anxiety? You faced a lot of pitfalls and road bumps and
With the anxiety itself, I try to find something to center on. I try to find something that makes me happy, something that allows me to take my mind away, something that allows me to bring myself back. But when it comes to getting into the ring, I don't often find myself anxious, even early on. There's something about getting up on the stage that makes me feel confident.
Oh, hi, Jim Ellermeyer back again from Fishing Without Bait. And as we offer and express transparency, this is a shameless plug for a book that we are selling. This is a 365-day calendar where we have a Zen type of picture to draw with a caption, and then we ask some thoughtful questions that people can answer, such as, what are your general thoughts about the quote? What is the morning thought in the morning? What is your evening thought? And what will you do tomorrow to spread kindness? Okay? And the beauty of this is that it's not numbered. You can pick any page out. It's not numbered. You can pick any day out and pick any quote out you want, or not. So what we're doing, we're asking people to use this as some type of a mindfulness activity to start their day. When we start our day, not trying to race through the day or with anxiety, but rather maybe some introspective self-talk, some internal validation. And what we're doing here is this. Also, what we'd like to do, we're going to be offering some Patreon material, maybe some behind the themes things, or some of the podcasts that we've done where we take a deeper dive, and we'd like to get your thoughts on that. What would you like to see? Are there any podcasts that we've done where you would like us to do a deeper dive? So you can please contact the show, and we'd be glad to explore that. And as always, we're looking for stories of recovery. Everybody's in recovery from something. We like to know how you got here from there. And please be good to yourself. And yes, this is a shameless plug. Are you confident in your abilities? Are you confident in the skills that you have? Okay. That makes it a lot different, doesn't it? There's confidence in the ring that you can do that. But a lot of times when we're out in the world like this, we kind of lose that confidence. So when we talked before, when I was listening to the podcast that we had before, and you were talking about preparing the different components of what makes a match, the entrance, the personality, the character, the actual match itself, the ending, and how it goes. So how do you put that into your real life?
Pretty much the same way. You can break down the aspects of your life just like that. It's all based off the resources. I just moved. I have boxes to unpack. I have rooms to clean. What rooms do I want to work on? What do I want to accomplish with each room? How much time do I want to give each aspect of each room? At work, it's what do I have project-wise? Which project is the most pressing? Which do I have the most resources for? Which do I have more time to set aside and get to it later? Or which can I do bit by bit? And which can I ask my coworkers to assist me with? With my job, it's a little harder because I have to factor in that there will be phone calls all throughout the day. And those people will need help and they'll have questions and they'll want resources. And I have to know what resources are at my disposal. Where can I go to find more? What information do I have about an ongoing issue that we keep getting calls and calls and calls about? When you break down what you're doing in life that way, it makes it more organized. It's like having a bunch of boxes to check and knowing that if I'm struggling with this one box, I can walk away from that set of boxes entirely and go to a completely different set.
Okay, so you can make choices.
Exactly.
Okay, excellent. Well, a lot of people walk through their lives with minds of uncertainty. And we live in a time now where there's much uncertainty about the world. And when we face life with a mind of uncertainty, it leads to a mind of anxiety, worry, and fear. And then we want to get a mind of knowledge in order to counteract that. So how do you get your mind of knowledge in order to deal with that uncertainty that sometimes we all face?
When I'm at home, I will literally take a walk around my apartment. I'll walk into each part of each room. I'll look and see what needs done, what can be worked on, what we're missing. I'll make notes of it. When I'm at work, we have inboxes. We have emails and responses, and it's just a matter of writing down what needs done.
Okay. How many people do what you do?
My office has, I want to say, about 3 dozen total people.
Oof.
My specific team is maybe 4.
Okay.
So 4 people working on this one big account.
You get some cooperation. That nobody can know everything. Are you afraid to ask? Do you get?
No,
Okay. Very good. The only if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
exactly.
So when you approached this job, how did you obtain the position? What qualifications did you have?
It was a lot of learning. When I came into the job originally, I was just an assistant. I was just there to do the menial tasks that everybody else was too busy to take care of. It wasn't any less important, but it was simple, it was quick, and there was a lot of it.
Mm.
As I moved along, I basically learned how to do everything.
Mm.
And over time, it became clear what aspects I was doing much better in and which ones I was struggling with. From there, it became a matter of, well, which team, because there's an active team and a retiree team. And it became, well, which team needs her more right now? Turned out it was the retirees. And I don't know how to describe it other than I thrived once I got there. I got there and I became such a huge help to the team. And I could handle pretty much every phone call by myself. I could take on a bunch of different tasks and have almost all of them done by the end of the day. And if the ones weren't done, the team knew about it and knew where I was.
How much satisfaction did it give you to be able to clear somebody's mind up of uncertainty when they called on the phone?
It's a nice feeling. It's very nice to have a conversation with someone and tell them, I know exactly what you're feeling. I know exactly what you're scared of, but I promise you that's not what's going to happen. So if you'll let me, I'll explain to you exactly what's going to happen and what that means for you.
Mm. So you validated their feelings. They felt like they were being heard.
Yeah.
I would probably suspect that you received many thanks.
I'd say it's about 50-50. There's unfortunately an aspect of this job where people call in and there is no way to satisfy them.
Mm.
There's a lot of bad news that I have to give at this job. I try to make giving the bad news as soft as I can by explaining to them, here's where we are, here's what you can do to help us resolve it, here's what we need.
Well, you're one of the rare people because normally when people call insurance companies, they are in a state of distress or anger.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no shortage of both of those things. And like I said, there's some people that you can't please.
Yes, and there's a lot of people like that in life too. And how are you able to accept that, brush it off, and move on?
I try to end every call I have at some sort of agreement.
Nah.
We agree that a mistake was made. We agree that we are now missing this and that. So we agree that you are going to send us this and that, and we will take care of the rest from there.
Okay. All right. So you're a fixer.
I try to be.
You're a problem solver. And I know you solved a lot of problems in your life. So how does that translate into your persona as the Unwilting Tatiana?
I imagine Tatiana, in terms of being a fixer, she's very much a conflict resolution kind of person. She has an idea of what's right and what's wrong, and she knows that the best way to solve everything and bring it back into balance is by wrestling and trying to win. And if the other person wins, well, they're just going to keep messing things up and make the problem bigger.
I've seen the leverage that you get on these side body slams, and that is impressive.
Thank you.
That can solve a lot of problems.
It does sometimes. It really does.
Yes. So you've won a couple championships.
I have.
Tell us about that.
So currently, I am the reigning and defending Ohio Championship Wrestling Women's Champion, as well as the Route 33 Wild and Wonderful West Virginian Champion. I am also the eternal and permanent Pizza Party Champion.
Okay.
Which I would like to remove the quotation marks on that, and I would like to make that a traveling championship.
Okay.
Mostly because it's such a fun belt. It's got a slice of pizza on it.
Do you book yourself, or do you?
No. I have the fortune of having a lot of promotions that treat me as a regular, and they'll reach out to me about dates that they would like me to be a part of. From there, I just sort of build my schedule based off of who else has asked me about that date, where I'm going to be in the other aspects of my life around that time, and what works best for me as far as getting there.
Join us next week when we continue our conversation with Jessie, the Unwilting Tatiana.
Please check out our website at fishingwithoutbait.com, where you can listen to the show, comment on our discussions, and find out where you can subscribe to our podcast. If you're interested in flying the colors of Fishing Without Bait, click the shop icon on our website. We have clothing, mugs, cell phone cases, and so much more. Show the world that you fish without bait. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.